Hey guys, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Square Root. How y'all doing? Yeah, y'all know I always researching doing. So I happen to first I'm gonna start off with what happened on this day. I put different things happened on this day in history, and I put two things on Leo's reading series that I'm doing, and Princess Diana got married today, and I think it was Raiders of the Lost Ark, something like that. Let me see what this happened today as well. What is that? Let me look. Make sure I'm saying it correctly. So yeah, so I'm gonna call out a few more. What was that? What is this? Oh, okay, I see it didn't show. Okay, it didn't show. Let me see. That was Lord of the Rings started today and some other things. So equals to 11 today, the 29th. Let's see. I thought it was pretty interesting. Let's see. Okay. Events in history on this day. I know I'm gonna use Google. Okay. And then I'm gonna start on the recession because today was the day the recession started years ago. Change glasses. Today's historical events. The Empire, Julianus and Constantinople's school edict prohibited Christian teachers from using pagan literature, which was standard text for classical education at the time. Um, I'm gonna kind of read the things I think. Avars, under Khagan, Bajan begins siege of I think it's Constantine, falls preserving the Eastern Roman Empire. Okay. Then you have Thessalonica is sacked by Saracen pirates led by Regime Leo of Tripoli. Ain't that interesting? Leo of Tripoli. Battle of a battle on this day of Strigmatas, Strumata Valley. Byzantine destroys Bulgarian armies. Another battle, Norway king killed during trying to reclaim the throne. And then you got Lando Citino proclaimed anti-pro innocence. Number three, the third, Emperor Go Horikawa, aged only 10 years old, ascends to the um, Chrysonium throne of Japan. Letter from Kubala came to the Japanese Empire, 1279. Five emissaries dispatched from the Mongol Yuan dynasty are beheaded by Japan. So they did beheadings. Okay. Um, 1266, letter from Kubaya came to the Japanese Empire threatening use of force. Turkish fleet recaptures DJERBA on the Span Jarindin, PANJAARDN. A League of the High Nobles routs King Philip II. Great Britain executes Agnes Waterhouse, the first British woman convicted of witchcraft. and Chelmsford, England. Royal coronation, 1567, James VI is crowned King of Scots at Stirling. France Warp requests union with Utrecht, 1579. Spanish King Philip II arrested plotters Antonio Perez and Prince von Eboli. Okay, 918 City. Okay. University of University of Friesland opens to the Netherlands. Duke Farnes troops ready for invasion of England. The Battle of Gravelines, Spanish Armada damaged and scattered by the English fleet. 1609, Samuel D. Chamberlain shoots and kills two chiefs, Iroquois, at Ticonderoga, New York, setting the stage for French, that I word I said, conflicts for the next 150 years. Dutch fleet under Johannes van Walbeck lands on Curacao, biggest town hall in the world, opens in Amsterdam. Nathaniel Bacon declared a rebel for assembling frontiersmen to protect settlers from Indians. 1693, War of the Grand Alliance, Battle of Landen near Winder. France wins Pyrrhic victory over Allied forces in the Netherlands. 1715, 10 Spanish treasures, galleons, sucked off Florida coast by a hurricane. 1751, first international world title prize fight. Jack Stack of England beats challenger M. Petty of France in 29 minutes in England. 1773, first schoolhouse west of Allegheny Mountains completed. Somewhere in Ohio, Schoenbrunn. 1773, Santa Maria earthquakes destroyed much of the capital city of Santiago de los Caballeros de Guatemala, New Spain, now Antigua, Guatemala. Over 500 killed instantly and 600 more died later for resulting diseases and starvation. In 1783, Skeptor volcano on Iceland erupts, killing about 9,000. 1786, first newspaper published west of Agonies Pitts, Gazart, Aleghanies, Pitts. 1783, John Greaves Simcoe decides to build a fort and settlement at Toronto, having sailed into the bay. African Episcopal Church of St. Thomas in Philadelphia dedicated. 1835, first sugar plantation in Hawaii established. 1836, inauguration of the Arch de Triomphe in Paris. 1847, Cumberland School of Law founded in Lebanon, Tennessee, USA. At the end of 1847, only 15 law schools existed in the United States. 1848, Irish potato famine. Tipperary Revolution, uh, revolted. Unsuccessful nationalists revolt against British rule, put down by police. 1851, Annabelle D. Gasparis discovers asteroid 15 in EUNOMIA. 1858 Treaty of Amity and Commerce, Harris Treaty signed between U.S. and Japan, opening Japanese ports to trade. 1862 American Civil War, Confederate spy Bill Lloyd Boyd is arrested by Union troops and detained at the old Capitol Prison in Washington, D.C. 1864 American Civil War, battle at Deep Bottom Run, Virginia, third and last day. 1864 American Civil War, Battle of Macon, Georgia, Stoneman's Raid. 1874 Major Walter Copton Wingfield patents a portable tennis court. History event, okay. 1884 Society of Independent Artists, founded in Paris by Albert Dupuis, Pillet, George Seurat, and Paul Signac, and Odilon Redon. 1899 First motorcycle race, Montana Beach, New York. 1899 Southern California Golf Association forms. 1899 First Hague Convention concerning land, war, customs, and laws to sign. 1900 in Italy, King Umberto the First of Italy is assassinated by Italian-born Anarchist Gaetano Bresci. 1902 Union of Orthodox Rabbis of U.S. and Canada forms. Agreement of Interest. 1905 U.S. Secretary of War William Howard Taft makes secret agent with Japanese Prime Minister Kisura, agreeing to Japanese free reign in Korea in return for non-interference with the U.S. in the Philippines. The 27th U.S. became the 27th U.S. president. 1906 Fourth Tour de France, won by René Paterer of France. 1907 First helicopter ascend in DOUAI, France. Historic event. 1907 Sir Robert Baden-Powell forms Boy Scouts in England. 1908 St. Louis Browns future basketball Hall of Fame pitcher Rugby Walden strikes out 16 Philadelphia A's in 5-4 win against his previous team. Okay, we're going to slide on the games. J.W.L. Hilgers is first Dutchman to fly above Dutch territory in 1910. In 1911, Boston. Okay, we're going to do that. 1913, independence of Principality of Albany recognized by the Conference of London. 1914, first transcontinental phone link made between New York City and San Francisco. 1914, Austrian-Hungary bombs Belgrade. In 1914, British fleet leaves Portland, passes Straits of Dover. 1914, in response to Australia's declaration of war on Syria, SERBIA, Russia diplomats in general urged general mobilization, but the TSAR calls for partial mobilization. 1914, Russia mobilized troops along Australian boundaries. Okay, we got sports. For 1920, first transcontinental air mail flight from New York to San Francisco. 1920, construction of Link River Dam begins as part of the Calama Reclamation Project, Oregon. 1920, Mexico rebuilt Pancho Villa surrenders. Historic event. Adolf Hitler becomes leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party. 1921, new rules of language assumed equal rights. Filmings, Wellen, Belgium. 1922, Greek troops defeated Turkish forces and are on their way to Constantinople, but the Allies forbid them taking the city. Why my eye gets crying every time I do that? Okay. Then we got 1923, Albert Einstein speaks on pacifiers in Berlin, PACIFISM. 1923, KBD hosts Struggle Day against fascism in Germany. 1927, first iron lung installed, Belleville Hospital, New York. 1927, Field Med scores, I ain't gonna do sports. Um, tennis. Film and TV, 1928, test footage first created by Walt Disney, Steamboat Willie with Mickey Mouse. 1930, 115 Fahrenheit, 46 C, Holly Springs, Mississippi state record. 1930, airship Aura 100, first partner passenger carrying flight from England to Canada. 1932, Great Depression. Great Depression, 1932. Let me write that down. In Washington, D.C., U.S. troops dispersed at the last of the bonus army of the World War I veterans. Historic events. 1933, police shootout with Bonnie Parker, take that out, and Clyde, Bonnie and Clyde. Gang in Iowa, leaves one member. Clyde's brother, Buck Barrow, died and one captured. Bonnie and Clyde escapes. In 1934, 28th Tour de France, won by Antonin Magny of France. Japanese troops, 1937, Japanese troops occupies Peking and Tien. 1937, Tongzhou incident, East Hopi Army, manatees against Japanese troops and civilians. 1938, Olympic National Park established in Washington State, longest undeveloped coastline in America. Eastern 1942, Eastern Boulevard in Bronx renamed Buckner Boulevard in honor of former Bronx Borough president and U.S. Congressman Henry Buckner. 1943, 1 million inhabitants flee Hamburg. 1943, Nazis evacuate Hollandschen Theater in Amsterdam. 1944, Allied Air Force bombed Germany to 6 hours. 1944, Frank McCormick, Reds. HR offers Ace Adams, Giants in both games. What's the game? Sorry. 1944, U.S. 4th Armored Division occupiers AVRANCHES, Normandy, France. 1947, gas leak explodes in a beauty parlor. Check that out. 10 women died in Harrisburg, Virginia. 1949, Moscow ends the blockade of West Virginia. 1950, Pee Wee Reese hits the home run. I didn't want to do that, but 1952, first nonstop trans-Pacific flight by jet. 1953, U.S. bomber shot down by Soviet air defense forces in the Sea of Japan north of Vladivostok. History publications 1954 publication of Fellowship of the Ring, first volume of Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien by George Allen and Unwin in London. 1955 Smokey Burgess hits 3 hours to help pirates. Another game. 1955 USSR performs nuclear tests. History events 1956 Jacques Cousteau calipos on anchors in 700 500 m of water recorded. Oceanographer, I like oceanography. Need to do more of that. 1956 US Open Women's Golf. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's something to say. 1956 US Open Women's Golf Northland CC. Kathy Cornus wins her only major title in an 18-hole playoff by 7 strokes, okay, over Barbara McIntyre. 1956 WCKT, now WSVN, TV Channel 7 in Miami, Florida, IND begins broadcasting. Then we got boxing title fight, 1957, Floyd Patterson TKO's Tom Jackson in 10 for heavyweight boxing title. 1957, International Atomic Energy Agency formed by UN. We got the film and TV history. 1957, Jack Pars, The Tonight Show, premieres on NBC. 1958, Southern Pacific Bay Ferry stopped running in San Francisco. Historic event, 1958, U.S. President Eisenhower signs into law National Aeronautics and Space Act of 1958. I'll write that down. 34th president. 1959, first United States Congress elections in Hawaii as a state of union. Musical history. 1961, Bob Dylan is not seriously injured in car accident in New York City. 1961, Wallis and Futonia Islands become French overseas territory. 1965, Beatles movie Help has Royal World premiere at the London Pavilion Theatre in the West End of London. Princess Margaret and the Earl of Shoden attend. 1965, Gemini 5 return after 12 days, 7 hours, 11 minutes, and 53s. Gemini, that's the spacecraft. 1965, Major League records 26, okay. 1965, USSR performs nuclear test at Eastern KAZAKH/SEM semi-Palatinkas, USSR. 1966, in Nigerian counter coup, head of state General AGUIYI Ernest murdered. YAKUBU GOWN appointed his successor. Nigerian. 1967, fireboard carrier USS Forrestal in Gulf of Tonkin kills 134. 1967, moderate quake 6.5 strikes Caracas, Venezuela, causing several damage. 1968, Cincinnati Red George. Okay, so 1968, Um, Mount Arena, Costa Rica kills 80 in Pigly type eruption. 1969, Mariner 6 begins transmitting far encounter photos of Mars. Mariner 6. 1972, France performs nuclear tests at Muroaatoll. 1973, Greek prototypist chooses public over monarchy. 1973, Led Zeppelin has more than 200,000 in cash stolen from a safe deposit box at the New York Hilton Hotel. 1974, second impeachment vote against Nixon by House of Judicial Judiciary Committee. 1974, Episcopal Church ordains female priest. 1974, French promotes nuclear tests at Muroaatoll. 1974, no, we need to read that. 1975, Ford became first U.S. president to visit Nazi concentration camps in Auschwitz. 1974, military coup by General Mohammed leads to firing of President Jacob Gowon. 1976, in New York City, the son of Sam kills one person and seriously wounds another in first of a series of attacks. What is son of Sam's? 1976, USSR performs underground nuclear tests. 1978, America Penny Dean swims English Channel. Okay. Okay. Music history. 1980, David Bowie stars in dramatic stage play The Elephant Man at the Auditorium Theater in Denver, Colorado. 1981, anti-parity protests against the Springbok rugby tour are confronted by police who use batons to stop them marching to South Africa's consul in New Zealand. 1981, no, go there. Former Iranian President Bani Sadr flees to Paris. 1983, Friday Night Videos premieres on NBC TV. 1984, Canadian Open Women's Golf Club. 1986, bomb attack in West Beirut, 30 killed. Agreement of Interest, 1987, Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream and Jerry Garcia agree on new flavor, Cherry Garcia, cherry ice cream with cherries and fudge flakes. 1988, FDIC bails out First Republic Bank, Dallas, with $4 billion. 1988, Bolshevich pushes plan to elect a Soviet president in Parliament in March 1989. 1988, judge orders NASA to release unedited tape from the Chandler cockpit. 1988, South Africa government bans anti-apartheid film Cry Freedom. 1989, Javier Sotomayor of Cuba sets high jump record. Okay. 1990, South Africa Communism Party begins first legal conference. 1992, Ray Sharkey, actor, Wise Guys, arrested for narcotic possession. Clint Black coming Friday, August 5th. Okay. 1992, that's another one. Sports. 1993, okay. Nope. 1993, Israel Court of Appeal overturns 5-0 conviction of John Demja Junk, Jemjaujuk, saying not enough evidence he is concentration camp. Ivan the Terrible. Whoa. 1993, Walter Koenig, Shevek in Star Trek, suffers a mild heart attack. 1994, 2,000 Muslims demand the death of feminist writer Tesla Nasira in Bangladesh. 1994, American minister and anti-abortionism Paul Jennings Hill murders Dr. John Britton and Britton's bodyguard, retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel James Barrett, outside of an abortion clinic in Pensacola, Florida. 1994, corrupt Italian ex-premier Krizak gets 8.5 year jail sentence. 1994, Henry Emmas Orban, People's Party, wins parliamentary election in Arbia. 1994, India Army kills 27 Muslim militants. 1994, Jesse Timmedequas rapes and murders Megan Kinka. 7 results in Megan's Law. Hmm. Rapes and murders. Megan's Law. 1995, Carolina Panthers beat. Okay. Sports. 1996, the controversial child protection portion of Communications DECNCY Act 1996 is struck down as too broad by the U.S. federal court. Really, child protection portion of the Communications Amendments Act. Mm, take a screenshot of that. 2001, Princess Diana, starring Anne Hathaway in her film debut, featuring Julie Andrews and directed by Gary Marshall, premieres at El Capitan Theater in Hollywood. Okay. 2005, astronomers announced their discovery of dwarf planet Eros. 2007, 94th Tour de France won by, okay, Albert Contador of Spain. 2009, temperature reaches 103 Fahrenheit in Seattle, Washington, the hottest day on record. 2012, tropical storm Khanun kills 88 people and leaves 6,000 homeless in North Korea. 2013, 300 prisoners are freed after Taliban attack in Darya Ismail Khan, Pakistan. 2013, 44 people killed in a wave of car bombings in Iraq. 2013, that another country, with two lines, 103 million of diamonds is stolen from the Carton International Hotel, Cannes, France. Is this where they made that movie of Angelina Jolie and what is his name? That went to court with his wife. 2014, 100 Gazans killed overnight by Israel strikes. 2014, France contributes 8 million euros in aid to Gaza. 2015, 27 people are killed and 149 are injured after a truck runs into a religious precision in ZACATECAS, Mexico. 2015, Microsoft launches Windows 10. 2015, Mohammed Omar Mullah and Taban leader is confirmed dead, killed 2013 by the Afghan government. 2015, over 3,500 immigrants over 2 days attempted to enter the Channel Tunnel at Calais to cross into Britain. Mhm. Flight NH370 disappears. 2015, part of missing airline is found in the island of Reunion. Oh, this one in Malaysia. Past posted notes written by the whale watchers in Malaysia after Malaysian Airlines flight went missing. I remember that. I think it had a whole bunch of scientists or something on them. 2017, Zion Harvey became the first PAEDIATRIC pediatric patient to receive a double hand transplant. What? At the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, really? Double hand transplant. President Convention, 2016, Hillary Clinton accepts the declaration accepts the Democratic nomination for the U.S. president at Democratic Convention in Philadelphia, first woman by a major U.S. party. 2017, tourists plot to bring down a plane averted in Sydney, Australia, 4 arrested. 2018, 6.4 magnitude earthquake strikes island of Lombok, Indonesia, killing at least 14. 2018, British Senior Open. Okay, I'm trying to do my sports. 2018, demonstrations calling for safer roads by students begin in Dhaka, Bangladesh. 2018, Ethiopian state funeral for murdered dam engineer Samani Bekele in Addis Ababa promotes unrest. 2018, Hun Sen Cambodian People's Party Hun Sen claims to have won all 125 seats in the country's general election with widespread criticism of a sham vote. 2018, Palestinian teenage activist Ahad Temanai released from prison after 8 months. Might be releasing that girl. 2018, Tour de France. If they haven't already, I don't follow it. I pray for. Tour de France. Garanta Thomas becomes the first Welshman, and only third Britain to win the tour, beats Dutchman Tom. Okay, it's sports. 2019 prison riot kills 58 with 16 decapitated in battle between rival factions at the Altamira prison, Power State, Brazil. Wow. Number one in the charts, 2019 recorded record for the longest run at the top of U.S. singles chart made by country rap singer Old Town Road, hey, by Lil Nas X, remixed with Billy Ray Cyrus, number one for 17 weeks. 2020 skilled black Jihad pilgrimage begins in the Saudi Arabian with no frontiers. 2021 Australian columnist Jessica Fox with 109.96 wins. Okay, that's sports again. Okay. 2021 flash floods killed at least 60 people in Kamdash, eastern Afghanistan. Okay, I gotta say her. 2021 Simone Biles withdraws. Teammate Sunseas Lee becomes first homo, HMONG American Olympic champion in sports when she wins women's artistic individual all-round gymnastics gold in Tokyo. Okay. Okay, I know that was long, but trying to see what's going on today. Okay, because you never know what they try. Okay, racism, racism, recession. Oh my goodness. Um, so I was doing it on a good day then. So the first recession, the Great. Let's see. When was the first recession in the United States? When was the the recession? When was the first recession?
Here is information from Wikipedia.
The Great Depression was in 1929. Okay, we're in recession. Two different things. What's the difference? Duration months, 3 years, 7 months. Recession, 1937 to 1938. Period range, May 1937, June 1938. As a year and 1 day, 1 month, 1 year and 1 month. Recession of 1945, February 1945, October 1945, 8 months. Recession of 1949, November 1948, October 1949, 11 months. What years did the U.S. have recession? How long have recessions lasted? COVID-19 recession, February to April 2020. The Great Recession, December 2007 to June 2009. The dot-com recession, March to November 2001. The Gulf War recession, July 1990 to March 91. Stagflation recession, Part 2, July 1981 to November 1982. How many recessions have we had? 13. Okay, 13 recessions, right? What's the difference? Okay. Starting with the 8 month slump in 1945, the U.S. economy has weathered 13 different recessions since World War II. What causes recession? The Federal Reserve, in the move to protect the economy from the overvalued stock market, made successive interest rate increases, using the stock market as an unofficial benchmark. A recession would have begun in March 2000 when the Nas- NASDAQ, uh, NASDAQ crashed following the collapse of the dot-com bubble. What was the worst recession? The Great Recession, 2008. The financial crash and global recession of 2008 was the worst economic disaster since the Great Depression of 1929, according to the Balance Opens in New tab. The crash was triggered primarily by the collapse of the U.S. housing market, according to Investopedia Opens in tab. Okay, I remember that. That's when they was housing was putting people, certain people, making them the grown kids they were grown or whatever, giving like 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. I remember some of that. I think that was during that time. Okay. Are we going into a recession? Rebuke that. The Federal Reserve Chair Jeremy Powell says a U.S. recession is a possibility, but not inevitable. Morgan Stanley economists expect a mild euro area recession at the end of 2022. What causes recession in 2022? U.S. inflation is at a four-decade high. Borrowing costs are surging and stocks have taken a beating, with the Federal Reserve going full steam ahead on an aggressive campaign, a tempered demand, and TAM prices. Concerns are growing that it moves will tip the U.S. into recession. How do you survive a recession? Here are 7 tips to protect yourself whether a recession is coming or not. Don't be afraid of bear market. Don't try to time the market. Get rid of your credit card debt. Mm. Stockpile savings. Establish a backup to your emergency fund. Don't underestimate the power of having bonds in your retirement portfolio. Let's see what else it says. Get a side gig. Many employers are begging for employees. There are a record number of job openings with the unemployment rate at 3.6%. The economy saw job gains in transportation, warehousing, leisure, and hospitality, education, health services, and government, according to the Labor Department. Okay, that's good advice. Who is to blame for the Great Depression? The biggest culprit, the lenders. Most of the blame is on the mortgage originators or the lenders. That's because they were responsible for creating these problems. After all, the lenders were the ones who advanced loans to people with poor credit and a high risk of default. Here's why that happened. Okay, we know why that happened. What should you do during a recession?
Here's a summary from Equifax. What happens in a recession? 1. Take stock of your financial priorities.
Okay, so,
2. Focus on debt repayment if you're able.
okay.
3. Consider your career opportunities, both now and in the future. 4. Try to bolster your emergency fund ahead of time. And 5. Make an effort to stay on top of your financial situation.
What could happen to the economy during a recession? The economy struggles, people lose work, companies make fewer sales, and countries' overall economic output declines. The point where the economy officially falls into a recession depends on a variety of factors. Business, what happens to companies during recession? Large businesses and small face declines in sales and profits in a recession. Their efforts to cut costs may include layoffs and cuts in capital spending, marketing, and research. Recessions may curb credit access, slow collections, and spur business bankruptcies. What happens to the banks during the recession? If you're worried about keeping money in your bank account during a recession, you can rest assured that your money will likely be safe at a financial institution, and you won't need to take it out of your bank account. Does recession affect banks? Bank stocks are generally affected by recession for a couple of reasons. First, interest rates tend to fall during recession since the primary business model of banks is to lend money and make profit. Low interest rates tend to lead to a falling profit. Can banks fail in recession? Banks' failures are not uncommon during the times of economic stress, from the first financial panic of 1819 to the Great Depression of 2008. There are several major economic events that have caused banks to fail at high rates. Is it better to pay cash in a recession? For both single earners and dual income households, some advisors say it's better to have higher cash reserves to provide more options and added flexibility in case of job layoff. Recessions typically go hand in hand with higher unemployment, and finding a new job may not happen quickly. Who gets hurt in recession? Retail. The retail industry is one of the nation's largest sectors of employment, with an estimated 15.6 million employees. With that kind of employment, retail workers make up over 11% of the U.S. workforce. In many recessions, the retail trade is hit hardest once these individual shoppers begin losing their jobs. How do banks prepare for recession? Centralized management platforms enable banks to monitor activity across markets and assets, commodities, foreign exchange, and risk factors in real time. Enable them. Most importantly, a centralized view allows decision makers and analysts to leverage their data effectively and to anticipate economic turndowns well before they happen. How safe is your money in the bank? Key takeaways. Saving accounts are a safe place to keep your money because all deposits made by consumers are guaranteed by the FDIC for bank accounts or the NCUA for credit union accounts. Certificates of deposits, CDs issued by banks and credit unions also carry deposit insurance. Okay, that's something to think about. Where do you want to keep your money now? Not Um, I know I was watching Die Hard. It was interesting that uh, FBI, CIA, Special Forces, or whatever, they fired a man and he built the whole computer system back up for the government, them agencies I just named. And he took turned everybody lights out, stopped all traffic, stopped everything, hacked it, and had people in panic. So I wonder about that as well. You know, it might not be that, but it could be somebody retarded. Okay, let's see. What I found on the days of the week. Are there 8 days of the week?
According to Wikipedia, some historical calendars had weeks consisting of 8 days.
So the historical calendars had 8 days a week. Um, can a week have 8 days? The 8 days of week calendar features an 8 day week consisting of 3 day weekends and a 5 day work week. So 3 day weekends. The 12-month and Gregorian calendar would remain unchanged. A new day called New Day would be added between Saturday and Sunday. So it's supposed to be 8 days. So they took out that one day, the New Day. It's supposed to be New Day. That was the 7 day, and Sunday being the 8 day. Interesting. Let me see. Why were there 8 days a week? The Beatles, 8 days a week. Beatles sang that song, written by Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Why did they stop having 8 days a week? Big chance I was taking saying that. Or asking that. I know I ain't gonna get no answer for that. When did 8 days a week start?
According to Wikipedia, in the United States, it was first issued as a single in February 1965 before appearing on the North American release Beatles v.
Oh, in 1965. Okay. Gregorian. Where did 8 days a week come from?
According to Wikipedia,
No.
the song was released in the United Kingdom in
Why did the Gregorian calendar have 8 days a week? Okay, okay. Who decided to be seven? The Babylonians decided that it would be 7 days a week. Who lived in modern day Iraq was astute observers and interpreters of the heavens. And it is largely thanks to them that our weeks are 7 days long. The reason they adopted the number seven was that they observed seven celestial bodies: the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, I told you the 8 day. What was the 8 day of the week? Sunday. When they celebrated Sunday as the 8 day, early Christians signaled that God's new creation had begun in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. What practices shaped their new Sunday way of life? Okay, the Greeks used 7 days based on their sun, moon, Aries, Hermes, Zeus, uh, Aphrodite, and Coronas. Who invented days of the week? That's the Babylonians. Babylon divided 28-day lunar cycle into 4 weeks, each consisting of 7 days. The number seven was significant as it represented the seven major celestial bodies that has been observed by the Babylonians. That was a good question. Why is Monday called Monday? The English name for Monday comes from the Anglo-Saxons word monadai, which loosely means the moon's day. Okay, we do know that. Where did that no did there used to be 8 days a week? The ancient Etruscans developed an 8 day market week known as the Nundinum around the 8th or the 7th century BC. This was passed on to the Romans no later than the 6th century BC. As Rome expanded, it encountered the 7 day week and for a time attempted to include both. Rome's 8 day week, the nondelio cycle, NU NUNDINAL cycle was shared with that E word I told y'all, who used it as the schedule for royal audiences. It was presumable a part of the early calendar and was credited in Rome legend variously to Romanus and Servus Tullius. Tullius. Let me see who is this. Etruscan civilization, the ones who had the 8 weeks, 8 days. Member of an ancient people of Etra, Etruria, Italy. Oh, okay. There's Italians too. Between the Tiber and Arno rivers, west and south of the Apennines, whose urban civilization reached its height in the 6th century BCE. Many features of their culture were adopted by the Romans, the successors to power in Palencia. What did they do? The influence ancient Roman cultures was pronounced, and it was from them that the Romans inherited many of their own culture and artistic traditions, from the spectacular of gladiatorial combat to hydraulic engineering, temple design, and religious ritual, among many other things. Where did they come from? He describes strong evidence that they, whose brilliant civilization flourished 3,000 years ago in what is now Tuscany, were settlers from old Anatolia, Anatolia, now in southern Turkey. Really? Where they are today. Yet they, whose descendants today live in central Italy, have long been among the great Enigmas of antiquity. Their language, which has never properly been deciphered, was unlike any other in classical Italy. Their origins have been hotly debated by scholars for centuries. Oh, so nobody can understand that language. Why did the Romans hate them? As you might imagine, this pissed off the Romans big time. They liked their women barefooted and pregnant, seen but not heard, possessions not individuals. The Romans and Greeks were horrified at the people I was just talking about, ETRUS, women's behavior, distorting history to portray them as sex made, debunked, out of control, prostitutes, portrayed them as sex mad, debunked, out of control prostitutes. Hmm. What color were they? Added to the fact that many of the images show the dark skinned people. Wow. Okay. That came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting that. In a position of power, and we have a bounty of evidence that they were, in fact, black. Hmm. Okay. So, who were their DNA? Their DNA was a mixture of two-thirds Copper Age ancestry. So they had copper, of course, the carbon, EEF plus WFG 6-72, them Latins, 62.75, and one-third Stippy related ancestry. Latin, they were also part Latin, with the EEF component mainly deriving from Neolithic era migrants to Europe from Anatolia, and the WHG being local Western European hunters. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that name there. Let me see something. Okay. Who came before them? Villanova culture. First, Vilanovan culture. 900 BC. The last for them to Etruscan. Cities were formerly absorbed by Romans. Currency, coinage, 5th century BC onward. Succeeded by Proto-Valavan culture, Roman Empire. Okay. Oh, who succeeded? Wait a minute. What does it say? Okay. So they were before the Romans. The Romans took over, so they were the blacks. Okay. What's another name for them? So they were black Italians. No wonder the Italians act like blacks. Hair, gesture, and how they hold their private part. Who the Romans descend from? In the first, it was claimed that they were descendants from the royal Trojan regime, Anninus himself, the son of goddess Venus. In the second, it was stated that the city of Rome was founded by and ultimately named after Romanus, son of union between an early prince and the god of Mars. What was before Italy? Summoned. The formation of modern Italy state began in 1861. Really? With the unification of most of the peninsula under the House of Piedmont, Sardinia, unto the Kingdom of Italy. Italy incorporated Venetia and formed papal states, including Rome, by 1871, following the French-Persian War, Persian War. Romanus. They say, that they had to be followed. I don't know. Let's see. Where were they originally from? Describe strong evidence that they whose brilliant civilization flourished 300 years ago, 3,000 years ago, in what is now Tuscany, were settlers from Oanatolia, now is southern Turkey. Okay, this is interesting. So it was 8 days. Okay, now let's see about the months. Are there 13 months of the year?
According to Inverse, there are 13 months in a year, totaling 364 days, with a new month in between June and July called Sol to mark the summer solstice.
So there was a 13th month called SOL for the summer solstice. The leftover day is a special year day. So 364 days. With two such days every 4 years. It derived from Auguste Comte, COMTE, in 1849. It was based on 364 day a year, which included the 1 and 2 blank days that Abbé Mastrofin, an Italian Roman Catholic priest, had devised 15 years before. Each of the 13 months had 28 days and exactly 4 weeks, so there was exactly 28 days, not more than that. Okay. Augustus, Auguste, COMTE, in 1849. Okay. Blank days. Abbemastrofini, an Italian Roman Catholic priest, had derived 15 years before. 4 weeks. What are the 13 months called? The 13th month called. 13 month is UNDECIMBER. Is a name for a 13 month in the calendar that normally has 12 months. D, they say it's 14 months. Oh shit. DUODECIMBER or DUODECEMBER is the 14th month. Ain't that something? Look a little further. So this was 11th month, actually. In the Gregorian calendar, Gregorian calendar. The rise from DECM means 10. So this is, hold on. And Julian calendar, world calendar. Somebody says CASSIUSDIO tells that LICINUS procurator of GAUL added 2 months to the year 15 BC. Because taxes were paid by the month, though not named by Dio, who wrote in Greek. August, Emmanuel Bacon suggests these might have been called undecember and duodecember. So why aren't there 13 now? Why are there 12 months in a year? Julius Caesar, astronomers, explained the need for 12 months in a year and the addition of a leap year to synchronize with the seasons. At the time, there were only 10 months in the calendar, or there are just over 12 lunar cycles in a year. Okay. So Julius Caesar's changed it. We need Roman, yeah. What is the secret 13th month? Okay, we did that. Unlike traditional time management books and programs, the secret of the 13th month provides unique insights into harvesting time that currently slips away unnoticed and unused. The reader will discover how much time is truly valuable and how to put it into use for any chosen purpose. Now they're saying the name of it is BERN. The 13-month place between February and March. Wow. Place between February and March will be called Vern due to its pro- proximity to the vernal equinox and the beginning of spring. Later version of the bill dropped the name Vern and replaced it with the month of Liberty. So it was a month named Liberty too. What countries have 13 months? Ethiopians. Check that out. Wow. Ethiopians are making the start of a new year with feasting in many homes despite the difficulties caused by rising prices and the war and hunger crisis raging in the north. Find out more about Ethiopia. Okay, calendar. So the Ethiopians celebrate 13 months. Is it true that Ethiopia has 13 months? 12 of them have 30 days. The last month called Pagume has 5 days and 6 days in a leap year. In contrast, the Gregorian calendar has days that can be less or more than 30 days in a month. A month name will say, when did year one start? Okay, we ain't on the years yet. Okay, we'll go ahead and go to years. Okay, I do that. Okay, this months. What would be a year, right? True. That would be a year. I'm tripping. Wait a minute, what did I put? Yeah. Oh no, there's the planets. Okay. Okay. A monk called I've seen his name before. Donna Monk, Dionysixuus, early 6th century AD, invented the dating system, most widely used in the Western world. For, for him, the birth of Christ represented year one. He believed that this occurred 53 years after the foundation of Rome. What are the original months? 10 months. The original months were Martius, Aprilus. Look like either some extraterrestrials or fallen angels. Maijunius, Sextilus, September, October, November, December. That was 10 months. Early Roman calendar. Who invented the 7 day a week? Constantine. Today is Constantine's day. She did some stuff. Okay. What is God's calendar? Hebrew calendar. Are there 13 moon cycles? But most cycles follow the 12 calendar. Astronomy designed the names of the moon to correspond with the seasonal influence within a given location. Because of region live with so long, the moons may not be called the same thing for all areas. I mentioned, I think, what's her name? What is the missing month? May. Or May is when they say people are missing. Let me go in here. The ANISHIE. Let me see. Okay. ANISHINAABEG people live in a large area within what is now the United States and Canada. What? There are actually 13 moons each year, but most cycles follow the 12 calendar. They design the names of the moon to correspond with the seasonal influence within a given location. Because the region of them live was so large, the moons may not be called the same thing for all areas. For example, the lower Michigan would not have the same activities as the Minnesota. So moons are different in different areas. The Center of Native American Studies adopt this version of moon cycles. Interesting. January is the spirit moon. It's giving them a name with it. Minadogiizis. Then February is Makwagiizis. Bear moon. And then March is Onaabidingiizis. Snow crust moon. Then April, Popogami, ZIS, broken shoelace, snowshoe moon. And May is NIMEBINEGIIZIS, sucker moon. Wow. Then June is WAABIGONII, the same GIZ, blooming moon. July through December. Okay, July is MINGII, that word, berry moon. Then August, which is MINOOMINIG, that same word. Oh, no, yeah. That's grain, wild rice moon. Then September is WABAABAGAA, the G word, changing leaves moon. Then December, I mean, no, I'm tripping. September, October, get my whole month, ain't that something? BINAAKWE, the G, fallen leaves moon. November is BAASHKAAKODING, freezing moon. And then December, MINADOGIISOONHS. Okay. Oh, this one here. GIIZI. Little spirit moon. Interesting. I like to compare this. It's interesting. Why is Ethiopia 7 years? What that mean? According to BBC, this is because the country calculates the birth year of Jesus Christ differently. When the Catholic Church admitted its calculation in 500 AD, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church did not. Time is also counted differently. The day is divided into two 12-hour slots starting from 6 a.m. Oh, 7 years. They see Ethiopia 7 years behind everybody. They've been standing. So they have 5 days, common year, and 6 days in leap year. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the planets. What did I say? What did I put there? Are there 13 planets on the birth chart? Okay, that's not bad. What is the 13th planet?
Here is information from Wikipedia.
He was talking about ERIS Day. Remember they was talking about that, the dwarf planet. When they first found the dwarf planet, I wrote that down somewhere. I read that during today. Yeah, where is it at? I know I put it down. I said, let me stop and put it down. Dwarf planet. Yeah, I read that on today when I was reading about what's going on today. Where I put it at? It has to be here. Why did it down? Okay, that's not there. It's the number one page. Okay. And then okay. I know I wrote that down. Yeah, here you go, right here. So this is the 13th day. 13th planet. I'll write that over here. ERIS, dwarf planet. And today is the day they discovered it. 7/29. What are the 13 planets in order? Let me read that first. Minor planet destination is the most massive and second largest known dwarf planet in the solar system. It is trans-Neptunum object, NOTON, in the scattered disk and has a high eccentricity orbit. Our ERIS was discovered in January of 2005 at Polar Observator as teams led by Mike Brown. Okay, I think that's a Fucus planet. Or it's Cyrus. Fucus planet. And verified later the year in September 2006 was named after the Greek Roman goddess of strife and discord. Eurus is the ninth most massive known object orbiting the Sun and 16th most massive overall in the solar system, counting moons. It is also the largest object that has not been visited by a spacecraft. Hmm. Right, Eurus has been measured at la 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 greater than that of Pluto, although Pluto is slightly larger by volume. There's another one called Dysnomia. Okay. What are the 13 planets? Order: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Ceres, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, HAUMER/KUIPER, belt, make, and then ERIS. Aguilar reacquaints readers with current information about our solar system. Hmm. Did you know that Jupiter is so large that all the planets, including the dwarf planets, could fit inside it? That Saturn has 62 confirmed moons. That dwarf planets Maker and Ceres have no moons. These facts and more can be found in David Aguilar, 13 Planets. Takes readers on a brief journey of the solar system in easy, understood language. He explains how astronomers are discovering new things every day, making them wonder just how big the universe is. 13 Planets tells the latest scientific information about terrestrial planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Dwarf planets: Chris, Pluto. Now they got another one, HU. Oh, okay. That one they was built. And Makey, and Uranus. And the gas planets: Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, and the possible future of the Sun and solar system beyond the Milky Way. Starting with the Sun in order of their distance from Mercury. The hell is a Makey? And according to entry into the mythology, astrology, or other related facts, for example, about Earth, we are told Gaia, the Earth goddess of the ancient Greeks, was known as the Mother of Earth, born out of chaos. She in turn gave birth to the sky, the seas, and the land. The Romans called her Terra. Children will find the unusual shaped planet Homer, located in the Kuiper belt. Interesting, shaped like a chicken egg. Oh, really? It's Debler, a cosmic football mm, kicked for a field goal. They will also like its analog that, if cut in half, the solid rock planet would resemble an M&M. Mm. Is that why you call itself M&M? The outside candy coating is the ice, and the chocolates found inside is the rock. The book closes with some heavy thoughts about the death of the sun and whether there is life on other planets. The end of our solar system explains what will happen to our sun in a billion years. In 12 billion years, the sun will poof into a red planetary nebula, nebula before fading away. Hmm. Nebula, then fade. He hunts that beyond our solar system, astronomers have discovered more than 1,000 planets. He claims that soon Earth like planets will be revealed and that within the next 20 years we may know if life exists on these super Earths. On par with books published, National Geographic, illustrations are exquisite and well captured. The artwork is done by author. Interesting. Okay, that was interesting. What is the 14th planet? They name a totally different planet. Mercury, the Moon, Venus, Mondas, Mondas, Earth, Mars, Asters, Astris, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Charon, Charon, and Planet 14. And he got 15. So that's a lot. Why are there not 13 natal chart of Fucus, the rarest, the 13th zodiac sign? And because it's rarely used in the world of astrology, it is also believed to be the second rarest zodiac sign. What date is Ophiuchus? November 30th, December 18th. The sun occupies one of these famous constellations. The Fucus in the Milky Way. It can be found northwest of the center of the Milky Way. It is situated near the constellation Aquila, Serpes, and Hermes. It's the cat. Ophiuchus is the cat. 13th zodiac animal, the cat, is the 13th animal symbol in the 12-year cycle of the Vietnamese zodiac and Gurung zodiac, taking place of the rabbit in Chinese zodiac. Pisces is a Fucus partner, soulmate. Wow, interesting. Why is Ophiuchus so rare? Although it is one of the largest constellations in the sky, Ophiuchus one of the least well known. While it's large in area, it contains no bright stars. Okay, I want to know about the natal chart. What country uses the 13 natal chart? Birth chart. In ancient history, were there 13 planets on the natal chart? Babylonians, Babylon. They left it out. Okay. It says, how was astrology used in the past? Until the 17th century, astrology was considered a scholarly tradition, and it helped drive the development of astronomy. It was commonly accepted in political and cultural circles, and some of its concepts were used in other traditional studies such as alchemy, meteorology, and medicine. Egyptian and Babylonians. Forgot what other country. Okay, read about them. Okay, let's go back to read about the. Till I find it. Since it came up, I'm gonna go to music. The ETRUSASCAN people, the Italians, Black Italians. Astrological beliefs and correspondence between celestial observations and terrestrial events have influenced various aspects of human history, including large views, language, and many elements of social culture. Among Western, the people I just said, the earliest evidence for astrology dates from the third millennium BC and roots in calendrical system used to predict seasonal shifts and to interpret celestial cycles as signs of divine communication. Until the 17th century, astrology was considered a scholarly tradition, and it helped drive the development of astronomy. It was commonly accepted in political and cultural cycles, and some of its concepts were used in other traditional studies such as alchemy. We just read that. By the end of the 17th century, emerging scientific concepts in astronomy such as heliocentrism, HELIOCENTRISM, underterm, un, undermined the therapeutical, theoretic base of astrology, which subsequently lost its academic standing and became regarded as a whatever. Okay, okay. I thought we was getting down to the people. Let's not try to read all that. Well, I ain't trying to read all that. It ain't talking about the people. Okay, what's my original question was? I was looking for it first. Was astrology used? No, that wasn't what I was looking for. That's what came up. What ancient culture used a fucus? Okay, I knew it was gonna come up with the Roman Empire. Polka. Fucus is mutable fire. He's saying it's a constellation, not a sign, but I thought all of them was constellations. What are Fucus powers? Chamberlains. Who do fire signs of zodiac? Shapeshift and transmute energy that flows in their direction. Interesting. Serpent barrier. That's the one they created. But I think it's the cat, like they said. Because this cat can kind of shapeshift the snake because they shed in some kind of way the cat's eyes. I don't know. All right. So that's the only one I had. What else I had? So this gonna be inconclusive about the birth chart. Cause of course, they ain't gonna find it until I gotta word it right. Well, how long I've been talking? Almost 2 hours. I was talking to myself. Well, it was interesting. Let's see. Do I want to do this? Let's see. All the promises are gone. I feel like hearing this sound. You're the only one.
Showing results for You're the Only One.
Damn, I can't think of the name of this song. What was her name? Oh, that might be her. Are you free? That's her. Melissa. Okay. Well, that didn't come up. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Tonight you told me that you made me stronger.
Now your promises are gone. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. Maybe you didn't know. I didn't know. All right, like, subscribe, share, and comment. I really appreciate it. Donate to the channel if you want. And to start posting soon in Patreon. It's Saint Lives Magazine. All right, love y'all. Take care. Hope you have a wonderful night, wonderful day, and everything go in your favor. All right, be protected and love. All right, bye.